The episode titles for Outlander, Blood of My Blood have been announced, and one in particular hints at the return of a key original story from the early days of Outlander. The upcoming spin-off series is set a couple of decades before the start of Jamie and Claire's story, in both timelines, so things will obviously look a bit different than what we are used to. Still, Blood of My Blood should feel like a sort of return to the earliest episodes of Outlander. After all, the very purpose of a prequel is to further establish a story's origin, and the new episode titles hint that this is precisely what we should expect. Outlander, Blood of My Blood's first season will premiere on Starz starting August 8, 2025, with new episodes released weekly until the season comes to a close. There will be a total of 10 episodes in this first installment, and Starz has officially announced the titles for each on Instagram. Of course, we can only guess what these titles will mean for the story. Episode 2's SWAK, Sealed with a Kiss, likely refers to Henry Beecham and Julia Morriston's letters, while Episode 10's Something Borrowed surely hints at a wedding. Then there's the title of Outlander, Blood of My Blood Episode 9. Blood of My Blood Episode 9's title refers to the location of an early Jacobite uprising. Braemar was the setting of the Jacobite uprising of 1715. Outlander, Blood of My Blood Season 1, Episode 9 is titled Braemar, which is the name of a Scottish village in Aberdeenshire. It also happens to be the location of the Jacobite uprising of 1715. Since Jamie's parents, Brian and Ellen Fraser, were married in 1716, the rebellion at Braemar should have happened around the time that Outlander, Blood of My Blood is set. Therefore, we can surely expect to see this play out in the coming episodes. The Jacobite movement was a major aspect of Outlander's first few seasons, as it was the motivation behind the Battle of Culloden. Though Blood of My Blood is set decades prior to the day Claire first showed up in the 18th century, many of the same conflicts will clearly be a feature of the spin-off. The Jacobites' primary goal was to put a Scot back on the English throne, since King James II and VII was deposed in 1688. The uprising at Braemar should see James Francis Edward Stuart, Bonnie Prince Charlie's father, make one of many attempts to claim the kingship. Overall, this means that the upcoming episodes of Outlander, Blood of My Blood will likely reveal how Outlander characters, such as Dougal Mackenzie, first became involved with the Jacobite movement. Moreover, we should see what sort of role Jamie's father, Brian, played in all of this. We know from history, not to mention Outlander Season 1, that the Jacobite movement ultimately failed. This should only aid in making the spin-off series story all the more interesting as it impactfully sets up Jamie and Claire's later adventures. A Jacobite story is an excellent way for the Outlander prequel to set up Jamie and Claire's story. The Jacobites are at the center of Outlander's earliest adventures. Claire and Jamie at Lallybroch in Outlander. Though the Jacobite movement is doomed to fail, Jamie and Claire's story would be unrecognizable if they hadn't been involved in Outlander's earlier seasons. They were married and fell in love largely because of this ongoing conflict between the Highlanders and the English. The Jacobite uprising at Culloden is precisely why Jamie and Claire traveled to France in Season 2, which led to Claire meeting Master Raymond, a profoundly important figure in her story. Finally, if it weren't for Culloden, Claire wouldn't have returned to the 20th century to give birth to Brianna. That it's been a while since the Jacobites played a major role in Outlander, but the consequences of their uprising still ring through even to the upcoming Season 8. The fact that one of the episodes of Outlander, Blood of My Blood seems to link directly with another Jacobite uprising hints that the prequel spin-off should lay the groundwork for the events that would eventually serve as the foundation for Jamie's story, especially. It's like a return home after a long journey, and that's precisely the sort of emotion that Outlander, Blood of My Blood should elicit.